Okay. They were better than us by a wide margin, and Notre Dame deserves a ton of credit. Um, you know, through the first quarter, I thought we were hanging in there pretty good. Threw a couple wrinkles out there offensively. I do not regret going for it on the fourth and a half a yard. It wasn't field goals weren't going to keep us in this game. I knew that. I mean, the Notre Dame offense scored 47 points last week at Texas. I believe it was 47. Am I right, Chris? I mean, so field goals weren't going to get it done. So I don't regret going for it. We ought to be able to find a way to get 6 inches. Unfortunately, we didn't get it done. And then there were just some points in the game where, frankly, we made. I mean, they're very easy to find. We made some knuckleheaded mistakes. It's still early in the second quarter. It's still a very, very competitive game at that point. Maybe a one-score game, and we make the mistake of bringing the ball out when we should take a knee, and we get a block in the back, and now we're starting with our backs up against our own goal line. We have another one where there's confusion in the back end as it relates to communication between coming out and staying in, and frankly, that's an embarrassing play, and that's a play that goes on the coaches, starting with me. So ultimately, we did some good things. There were times that we moved the ball, but we didn't sustain drives. There were some third downs that we didn't convert. We got to come off the field. And ultimately, the Notre Dame offense is very, very good, and we couldn't keep rolling our defense out there, and we had to do that because we didn't sustain drives on offense. And as a result, I think in the end we just got wore down. But again, give Notre Dame all the credit. That's the 18th ranked team in the country, and I wish that we played cleaner. Penalties and silly mistakes and young guy mistakes on defense cost us. But in the end, they're better than us, and there's, had we played really, really clean, in the end, would it have been enough? I don't know. I would probably doubt it after having experienced that. That said, for us moving forward, you play an opener against a triple option 1AA opponent that everybody wants you to win it by 35, but they don't understand, and the Notre Dame media will understand that, playing Navy is a bear. It doesn't matter who they are and what you are. Well, we did that last week. We played the Naval Academy offense. So now we go out against the 18th ranked team in the country, and rightfully so. And so I don't know really what we are yet. I mean, we're a Mountain West team that hasn't – I can't judge what we are quite yet. I know that we got a lot of growing up to do. There's no doubt. We got a lot of things that got to get fixed. But there were some positives out there, and we'll build off of it. And I thought the atmosphere was great. Our guys were not intimidated by the atmosphere. It was execution. It's that simple. I mean, the whole, was it because it was Notre Dame and it was 80,000? No, it didn't matter who it was. They were better. That team was better than us. Didn't matter what logo you put on the helmet. And the crowd was, good, but it's not Kyle Field. And, the crowd wasn't the reason that we got beat. It's because we didn't execute. And that's the bottom line. But I know our guys, this will be an experience that they'll look back on and appreciate. It was a cool place to play, great place to play. But if you play if you don't play well enough, then the memories aren't fond, and they shouldn't be fond. So with that, I'll take any questions. We don't need the mic in Reno. We just yell.
Okay. You want me to do that? They're transcribing. I think that's why they want it. You saw some really good quarterbacks when you were here at Notre Dame that played for the Irish. Curious your impressions of Deshaun Kaiser.
Very impressive. Bigger in person than you think off the film. Very, very athletic. Solves. Clearly, Coach Denbrock, Coach Kelly, and Mike have done a really good job with him because he solves a lot of problems at the line of scrimmage. He's very impressive, very, very good football player. It wasn't. I expected the Irish offense to be explosive. That was not shocking to me. It was, what I saw from them defensively was what I would have done had I been in their shoes, and there's no need to junk it up. Play base defense, and make us beat you. And in the end, we made a couple of plays, but athletically, we didn't have enough to make some of those plays over the top, some of those shots that we took. So.
Hey, Coach. How you doing? Front right.
There we go.
You just touched on it. Just wondering how you feel like your offensive line and James Butler fared against that Notre Dame defense. And obviously the Irish defense was strong enough without having to do a lot of odd stuff.
No, yeah. Why would you? I mean, man for man, that was going to be an uphill battle for us. I mean, just size-wise alone, when you watch the Notre Dame D-line come out and warm up, it gets your attention. They're large. The front seven in general is large. So we knew we were not going to be able to just roll them off the ball, that there was going to have to be some misdirection. You saw us get into a package where we brought Ty Ganji, our backup quarterback, in and had 3 backs in the backfield. We were going to have to try and move their eyes as best we could to try and slow it down and maybe even things out a little bit. And I don't know what James ran for. Not very much. So, yeah, I mean, it was an uphill battle. But again, it goes back to I'm disappointed, but I'm not going to judge our team off this, because the reality of it is that's not fair to them. If we were supposed to beat Notre Dame, we wouldn't be in the Mountain West Conference. Notre Dame's not our peer. Ultimately, we have to be judged against our peers. Now, and again, I'm not excusing the fact that we did not play well enough. And there are a lot of things that we're frustrated with and have to get fixed. But in the end, I don't think it's fair to, hey, how come you couldn't run the ball against Notre Dame? Well, we don't look like they look. That's why. Sometimes it's not rocket science. So, anybody else? Chris?
Tyler looked just a little off all game. I mean, not as accurate as typical. Can you pinpoint what was off a little bit with him tonight?
Honestly, I can't, and I feel that way too. I feel like part of the reason that we didn't sustain drive was, frankly, we didn't throw and catch, and it's there were plays to be made out there, and we just didn't execute. Whatever the reason is, I'll get to the bottom of it here through film study and conversations with the coaches. But honestly, it's not all on the quarterback, but he is part of the collective, and we did not throw it and catch it well enough today. We knew we were going to have to take some short stuff and throw some hitches and show some run action and see if we could get the underneath coverage to jump up, and then we're going to have to complete some throws. And frankly, there were some open throws out there that would have kept drive alive that we didn't complete. I acknowledge that. The reason for it, I can't speak to it, and I can certainly tell you that while the quarterback didn't play well, neither did anybody else. So I'm certainly not pinning our performance on him. We just all need to play better.
What did you think of Ty Ganji in his first, D1 experience, and is that a position that you reevaluate moving forward?
I think it's far too early to even think about that. We knew Ty's going to play throughout the course of the year. That wasn't a package just for Notre Dame. It was just a package that wasn't ready yet. Ty can make plays with his feet. Overall, I would say decent. I don't give him a ton of credit for the long throw to Sells. I mean, he completed it, but there was clearly a bust in the coverage. Notre Dame's backups were in there. There was a communication breakdown. That was a ball that you or I should complete. I mean, there's nobody around him. So, but in terms of making plays with his feet, you saw that, even against a very athletic defense, a BCS level defense, he can make plays with his feet. So he will continue to play in packages as it relates to, what's it look like moving forward. It's, Tyler Stewart's played a lot of good football for us. He had a bad day. A lot of people had bad days. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. So, anybody else? All right. Thank you very much. Best of luck, everybody.
What did you think overall?
didn't play very well. Didn't execute our game plan that we went into the game with. And me personally, I did not play well at all.
It seemed like you were a little off accuracy-wise. I mean, can you pinpoint, what was a little bit wrong with you today?
I don't think I can put it just on one thing. I think I just had a little bit of an off day and can't afford to have those, and I had one today, so that was pretty bad.
You guys played a pretty strong first quarter, and you had a nice first drive, and then the second quarter kind of happened. I mean, did it feel like things just started snowballing and everything kind of went poorly in that
I mean, the feeling didn't. I didn't feel like on the sideline or like when we were playing, like in the first half or second quarter, like the feeling didn't necessarily change. We just kept killing ourselves again with penalties. And last week we could make up for it because obviously Cal Poly's not Notre Dame. So Notre Dame took advantage of our penalty mistakes and capitalized. And I mean, give credit to them. They took advantage of the mistakes we made on penalties and sent ourselves back. And that's why we didn't have a very strong outing.
You guys rolled 3 different quarterbacks into that first drive. I mean, do you feel like you maybe caught them a little bit off guard and mixing them up a little?
Maybe. I don't know. You're going to have to ask them that. We moved the ball pretty well in the first drive, rotating us 3 in. So maybe it did catch them a little off guard, but you're going to have to ask them that.
Yeah. The interception on the little screen pass, I mean, did you just not see the tackle there, or did you just make a nice play, drop him back?
I didn't see him. I don't know exactly what happened. I have to watch the film. I did not see him. I was looking for JB. They got some pretty big dudes up there, so JB's not always easy to find. So we were trying to throw a screen, obviously, and I just didn't see the dude, and he made a good play.
You guys were really good on third down in the first game, completed 50% of them. Today, struggled on that down. Were you guys just in deeper looks, and that's why you struggled, or just didn't make the plays on the key downs?
Probably just not making the plays, to be honest with you. I have to watch the film. I couldn't tell you necessarily what exactly was the problem until I watched the film. But obviously, overall, we just didn't have a great outing, especially first and second down really kind of helps you on third down, obviously. So first and second down obviously wasn't very strong for us either after first drive and a couple drives after that.
What do you feel about the team 2 games in? Is it kind of hard to tell where you are just because FCS opponent and a top 25 opponent?
Oh, yeah, it could be a little rough to kind of pinpoint it. I think we're in the right mindset even after a rough one. I feel like we're doing all right. Obviously, no one's happy with the result today, and that's just kind of rough. But I feel like we'll be good to go come Monday and watch the film, get it corrected, and be on to Buffalo.
Coach Polian kind of said, maybe the memories from this game right now won't be great just because of how it went. But I mean, just playing in that stadium and visiting such a cherished place. I guess what are your feelings on that?
I mean, yeah, it's great. Still lost the game, so I'm not too great. Don't feel too great about that because I'm always going to remember it as a loss. And no disrespect to Notre Dame, but we still would want to win the game, even though it's a great stadium. I understand that, but I still want to win the game. And I wasn't really thinking about all that once football starts. You know what I mean? Once the game starts, none of that really matters. And the only memory I'm probably going to have is me not playing too well and losing the game, to be honest with you.
Did you feel like there were some shots out there against their defense that you guys just missed?
And Victor, the first drive, it was like a fumble and they reversed it. That was a shot we could have had right there. And then Wyatt later on in the game, I know we were down 20, something like that, but had the shot there. And I mean, I missed on a lot of the rollout throws. I was throwing them pretty high, which is pretty bad. So I mean, there's plays to be made, but Notre Dame came with a great game plan and executed their game plan, and we didn't execute our game plan. So obviously, the result is what it is.
You were a big underdog going into it. Obviously, you wanted to win the game, but what does that do for confidence to go in here and lose like you did?
I mean, it's hard to say. I feel like even if we win the game, we still have the mindset of we have to go play Buffalo, you know what I mean, even after the game, because we have to go Buffalo. I mean, I don't think Buffalo really cares if we won or lost. They're still got to play us, you know what I mean? And coming out each week and wanting to get better, and I mean, we didn't get the result we wanted, and we just got to move on either way. If we won the game, then we move on anyways, but we lost it, so we still move on. You know what I mean? So it just kind of that's how it goes.
Anything else for Tyler? Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely.
Question for Alex Bertrando.
What did you think of the defensive effort overall?
I think the first half was really good. There were flashes of good, and then we just made some mental mistakes, and it was kind of everybody. And then I thought we competed well though. We ran to the ball. Just they made some plays, and you got to give credit to them.
What was the locker room like right after?
Anytime you lose, we're down a little bit, but that's a good football team that we lost to, and we got to keep our heads up, and it's on to next week.
You don't see it as a setback confidence-wise at all?
No, I don't think so. That's a really good football team, and I think we handled it. We handled it pretty well in spots, and then anytime you lose, there's obviously going to be people who are upset, but it's one game. It's not going to define the rest of our season.
I feel like things started to snowball in the second quarter there. Just a couple of mistakes, and all of a sudden you're down like 3 touchdowns. Yeah,
just a little bit. Just kind of the momentum swung a little bit, after those few special teams plays. But the guys on defense, we never really hung our head down. We kept fighting, and I'm proud of everyone for that.
You guys obviously wouldn't need to play a pretty perfect game to come out and win this one. Are you just maybe somewhat disappointed that there were just way too many mistakes to even make it competitive?
Yeah, I think we shot ourselves in the foot a lot. One of those that was on me on the long catch towards the end of the half, and we were lucky enough to get a field goal out of that. But yeah, just everyone kind of needs to focus up and come back next week and correct the mistakes and get better, and we're on to Buffalo. Good. Thank you.
This thing always.
Some things never change,
I
right?
know.
Be a bit of a gap between the next couple of guys. Did you need more from VP? Sure.
What did you just think of the game overall?
I thought we really shot ourselves in the foot a lot, but we showed we didn't quit, so I thought that was good. And it's a great team we play.
You guys would have had to play a pretty perfect game to come out here with a win. I guess is it just disappointing knowing that there were a lot of mistakes, especially in that second quarter, that didn't really give you that shot?
Yeah, it's hard because when self-inflicting wounds against good teams is going to get magnified more, because at teams like this you're not allowed to make that many mistakes, and we were making too many mistakes. That's why we were in the position we were in.
Did it seem like that second quarter in particular, things just kind of snowballed on you, and then all of a sudden you're down 20 or so?
Yeah, and when you're down 20 and the second quarter, the momentum kind of shifts, and we're in their home stadium, so we just gotta bring each other back, and when momentum shifts like that, we gotta come together and do what we can.
Really good first drive. I guess what went well there? You guys were obviously switching the quarterbacks around, maybe caught them off guard a little.
I really think that just our depth at the quarterback position and the running back position, I really feel like that. That's really good, and our receiver core was doing their things.
And then after that, it kind of bogged down a little bit. How hard was it to run against that front? Obviously they've got some huge guys up there.
Yeah, that's a really big front. I felt like we competed well, against them. We held our own, for the most part. But yeah, those are some really big D linemen, and those linebackers can run and hit.
What did you think of Asauni being in there with kind of the triple option look? What does that add to the offense?
It's awesome. It's just some teams got to prepare for, and that we're able to have in our arsenal. So I think it's good.
And you guys had that 4th and inches, in that first drive. I guess how deflating was it not to get that? Obviously it's a situation you want to go for it, I'm sure.
Yeah, that was a short line, package, short, like short yardage package. So it was kind of heart wrenching, not to get it, but we'll be back.
The interception, the guy got it right in front of you. I guess did you see him? Did you notice he was there?
Yeah, he didn't even see me. But yeah, I knew he snipped out screen right away, and then T. Stewart already threw it before I could try to get back and bat it out of his hands.
Being a Chicago kid, what does it mean to you to play in this stadium? Obviously not the result you wanted, but I'm sure it'll be a memory that you'll remember for a long time.
Yeah, it's nice. It was my dream growing up. Going to Notre Dame games when I was little, and being able to come here as a player and see my family, see the looks on their face, they're still, proud of me, even though the way the game turned out, all the family, friends that showed up, it was special. It was a really great moment.
How many people did you have here?
I probably had like 17, like my family, then like 30, 40, like family, friends.
Oh, okay. Is it hard to kind of evaluate where the team is now, just after playing an FCS opponent and then backing that up with a top 25 opponent? I mean, obviously two different ends of the spectrum there.
I feel like we just got to get back to the basics, and this is a great team we played, and Cal Poly was also a good, FCS team, so we just got to get back to the basics, go back to practice, and not try to relive this, or Cal Poly, because they're both behind us now. There's nothing we can do about it except just trying to go out, compete, get better, every day, and just get ready for Buffalo.
Third down, you guys are really good last game, completed 50% of them. Third down tonight, a lot more struggles. I guess what was happening on that down there?
They were really jumping it up a lot, bringing people from all over. They know those D-lines can really rush on third down, so that was giving us some trouble, but I feel like we'll be fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, James. Rufus?
I got to debut as a quarterback. I guess, what do you think that package kind of did? I mean, obviously that first drive, very successful.
It made them think a little bit, put them on their toes. It was kind of fun to do. I think the O-line and everybody did a good job of executing.
And then you guys get down there at 4th and inches, and then what happened on that play?
I think it was my fault. I made the wrong call. So that's what it is.
How did you guys feel like you did defensively?
I think we did okay. Obviously, 39 points isn't what you want, but I think we definitely need to improve. But I'm confident we will.
You guys were playing really well in the first half. Second half, just a couple of mistakes, and they seemed like they kind of got out on you. I mean, did it feel like it was snowballing at that point where, you look up and you're, 20 down?
Well, I mean, that's kind of how it always is on defense. If anyone hops out of a gap, they seem to always find it. So that's how football is.
Yeah. Deshaun Kaiser, I guess, how did you measure up to what you thought he was going to look like?
Oh, he's a great quarterback. They're both good. They have a good program over there, and they play well today.
What's the biggest thing you take from this game?
We need to get better. Always trying to improve. So that's what I think.
What would you say the positives were?
I think we competed the best we could. I think we just need to clean up some mistakes.
I mean, it seemed like, until that last drive of the second quarter, I mean, you guys were really keeping them from going on long, sustained drives. I mean, from that point forward, they started getting longer drives. I guess, did anything change for you guys and getting wear down a little just because you were out there a lot? Or?
I don't think so. I just think mental mistakes were popping up, and they took advantage.
I mean, obviously, you guys would have to play a near-perfect game to win this one. Is it just maybe a little disappointing knowing that some self-inflicted mistakes kind of let it get, out of control, the second quarter there?
Yeah, it's always kind of frustrating when you have self-inflicted wounds. So that's what we're going to try to improve on and eliminate next game. Thank you.